Hello everyone, welcome to the Flight Sim Deck and welcome to this preview of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. We're currently at Queenstown Airport in New Zealand and today we'll be taking out the Zlin Aviation Savage Cub, which is a light sport aircraft kind of like the Piper, but very fast and, you know, a little sporty for the bush flying that we're about to do. Try to land near some lakes or riverbeds, maybe on some mountains. We'll see what we can do once we get up there. But yeah, checking out the new Microsoft Flight Simulator here, and I have been so impressed with what I've seen so far. I've been into flight simulation for about 7 years, and I've never seen anything like this in a simulator before. I mean, this is really going to change things for everyone. So we're going to get going here. We got the fuel loading up, and actually the cool thing is when you park in front of that fuel pump there, it actually asks you if you want to load fuel. So that's kind of cool too. So we're just looping around here. We're gonna go taxi to runway 32, which is straight ahead. We're just gonna take the small taxiway to the right and get over there. But yeah, this is a total game changer. And I don't mean game as in like this is a game, flight sim. You know, there's always the debate of is it a flight simulator, is it a game? You know, I don't get caught up in that. I don't care. You can call it whatever you want to call it. You know, it's both, really, and, you know, depends what you're using it for, depends, you know, what you want to do, it can be both. So, we're going to go ahead and get up onto 32 here, and I haven't flown this aircraft before. Well, I did fly it one time a little bit earlier, but you know, I'm not very proficient with it, so you have to excuse, you know, my takeoff and landings, just, you know, not too keen on using it yet, but I'll get there. But, you know, as long as we take off fine, I think everything will work out. So it's currently 11 a.m. that we're departing. We're going to go straight out here. We're going to fly around these mountains, loop back in later on, but basically stay in this general area and see what everything's about here. Nose forward, try to keep it down the center line, and we're off. Feels pretty good. I've noticed the aircraft feel, I always liked IL-2, IL-2, DCS. I always thought, you know, the physics in those sims always feel really good when it comes to the wind, and if you bank too hard, the way it feels. You get that with this simulator for sure. I definitely can feel the difference. And yeah, I mean, this has been such an awesome experience. I feel so privileged to even get to try this preview build and share this. So, you know, 3 weeks ahead of when the actual release date is. So far, I'm liking the camera system. I started using a gamepad 4, not for flying, but for the camera, because their camera uses what they call a drone. You know, there's not actually a drone, but you know, they're using drone because it can behave like a drone, and that's what you use to get the external shots. It's, and just using the gamepad with the stick, you can adjust all the rotation speed, the drone speed, and you can fly around and get some nice cinematics that way. But you're going to see a whole lot new variety on the Flight Sim Deck channel with this simulator because the whole world is modeled now, and that's something we've never had before. You know, you could spend a ton of money and still not have the whole world modeled, you know, just portions, and not to this extent. Now it's like you can finally go exploring. You know, like my hometown, until recently when True Earth Northern California came out for X-Plane 11, until then, my hometown and most of the Northern California area was never, ever modeled correctly, not even close. So, I mean, you could vaguely go out and do some VFR and stuff like that, but you could never had an accurate representation of the cities. And that went for a lot of the world when it came to flight simulation. Most of the world, everywhere you go kind of looks the same. You have your major cities where maybe they put a little bit of autogen, and you know, some of the buildings kind of represent what the real ones look like. But now you have this awesome variety, and I feel like you can finally explore the world of airplanes. And it's just an amazing time to be a part of flight simulation. I never foresaw things becoming, you know, jumping this far forward from what they were, and it's really, really amazing. I'm happy to be a part of this flight simulation at this time. Glad I got into it, you know, almost approaching a decade ago. You know, I had dabbled in it when I was younger, but, you know, to really get into it and start studying it and understanding this stuff only happened for me, you know, in the last 7 to 8 years. So, but yeah, like I said, glad to be a part of this now. And I'm also happy what this is doing, like, with how many more people this is going to bring into the community. You know, just putting this on Game Pass and putting this, you know, on the Xbox later, it's going to bring so many more people into this hobby. And that is great for flight simulation. It's great for aviation in general. A lot of people who get into flight simulation later on become pilots. And that's great. We need pilots, and we need people to have this interest. And, you know, air shows do that, and I think simulators like this also do it as well. And now, a lot more people have access to this. And because it's kind of like with truck sim and train sim, probably more truck sim I'd say is more popular, and racing sims. More people do those because they have access to them, and it's pushed more. You know, flight sim doesn't really feel like as much of a niche as it was now with this coming forward and what this is going to be pushed into, like Game Pass. You know, your average person who's maybe never thought of flying a plane in a simulator or anything like that will now have access to do it if they're already a member of Game Pass. And that might open up a whole bunch of new doors for them. They may not stick with Microsoft Flight Simulator. They may go to other sims. They may become pilots. You know, the sky's the limit with what can happen there. So let me get back into what we're actually doing here. We're about to land next to the lake here. I just kind of want to see what this field looks like. First place I saw that looks like it can actually land. It actually might be a strip that people land at. I'm just not sure. It looks like it could be, just the way it's flattened out here. So we'll see what kind of landing we can get. Gotta remember I'm in a tail dragger, so I don't want to really flare it. Cool down. Oh, look at the blades of grass. They weren't really visible. I expected when I landed on this, honestly, that it was going to be flat. Look at the textures and stuff. And see, this is what I mean. Like, it opens up so many doors now. Like, there's so many more places I can fly and bring to you guys on the channel, because what prevented me from flying all over the world a lot was if I didn't have scenery, I didn't want to spend all the time making a video in a particular area because it just didn't represent the area well. But now with this and the new, like, the cinematics you're going to be able to do, wow. And just to be able to land and kind of like stop and actually take this in is pretty neat. Wow. And I'm actually running everything on the maximum settings across the board, except for the traffic and stuff. I have that around 40%, but I'm running the settings at the max right now. And even with my 4790K and my 1080 Ti, I'm averaging about 30, 35 frames, sometimes up to 40 in this aircraft right now with this scenery, which is I'm very pleased with, because I plan to upgrade in the fall. So if I'm getting this kind of performance with this setup now, imagine what I'll be getting later. Let's go ahead and get off of this strip here, and we'll try to find a mountaintop to land on. So much fun. I think I've already logged, I don't know if I said this already or not, I think I already logged about 15 hours in the sim. I've only had it for a few days. Just trying to get everything I can out of it right now. Waited for this for so long, you know, and as an adult, you know, video games, when you're a kid, a new video game comes out, you get excited for it and stuff. I haven't had that feeling in so long. Like, this sim brought that back for me, you know. It was kind of like Christmas when I first got that alpha invite in the email. 'Cause I thought, honestly, I wasn't going to get it, and I just figured, you know, I'll just wait to stream it, you know, when it comes out day one, which I'm still going to do. Day 1, August 18th, as soon as I can, I will be streaming. Hopefully, what I'd like to do, the format for it is take requests. I'll fly where you guys want me to fly. Short flights, you know, I don't want to be doing, you know, long flights, but, you know, just pattern work, showing off areas, whatever people want. So I found a mountaintop that I think I can land on. We just flew over it, and I'm just going to loop back now. I didn't like the angle I had there for the approach, so we'll try to land this way and see what it's like landing on a mountain. And the other thing, even if I was to have scenery that looked like this in my other sims, the performance, other than DCS and maybe L2, which looked pretty good, but nothing like this. But the performance would be so bad that you can't even enjoy it. But this, you know, and granted, I could tone the settings down a bit. Like I said, I'm running the max settings right now, and I could tone them down a little bit and get even more performance. But to run them right now like this, I'm very happy with it and the way it looks. But as I was saying, to get it to look this good in other sims, then the performance is sacrificed for the beauty of the sim. And you know, the way I look at this is just Microsoft has now provided us with a sandbox or a playground, whatever you want to call it, where we have this platform now, and now developers are going to make awesome aircraft for it. All of our favorite aircraft, I'm sure, will eventually be developed for this, because I think developers are seeing what this has become, and they want to capitalize on it too. They want to get involved, and they want to make stuff for it. And I also think with the marketplace that Microsoft is opening up for this simulator, you're going to have not just developers, but also talented people in the community who maybe they wanted to develop, but, you know, they didn't have a, you know, they don't have to worry about a publisher, they don't have to worry about starting a company. They can just put it on this marketplace, to create something and put it on the marketplace. And I think that is great that we now have this. Just good for the overall hobby. I really think the whole thing is. Look at even the grass up here. That is so cool. Looks like we're like drifting to the side. Probably better get out of here before we slide off the side of this mountain. I was trying to use the parking brake, but I couldn't get it to engage, so I'm using the toe brakes right now, holding it. So we'll try to flip around here and fly off this mountain. But I mean, look at this. I didn't plan to land next to that lake exactly where I did, and I didn't plan to land on this mountain. I just found these and thought, okay, kind of looks like I could land there, and I did it. And you land there, and it looks good. And that's what I mean. Like, every nook and cranny of this sim has something to explore, and I look forward to finally getting to explore the world in great detail. You know, I want to check out Egypt and you know Cairo and parts of Africa. I can't wait to get over to Asia, Tokyo, and Korea, and China, like Beijing, and that must look awesome. Europe. There's so many places that I just neglected really going to. You know, as far as VFR and stuff goes, just because I knew it just wasn't going to look like the real thing. But now I can rest assured that that's not the case. And also you'll have people developing scenery, you know, taking some of the scenery to the next level. Because I think a lot of it definitely looks close to true to life, but there's little things that like a local might notice that are off. But you know, that's you know, so minor compared to what we're coming from. So we landed twice. Can't, you know, I don't want to keep you guys too long with this video, so we're just gonna go back to 3-2 and land, breathe in, try to land. I bet the landing on the runway is harder than the mountain we just landed on. It's a skinny runway actually that we're about to land on. But yeah, New Zealand, definitely want to check it out. I actually didn't know much about this airport until now. I was looking at the New Zealand map and found this airport, loaded it in, and I'm like, this looks pretty good. I need to fly around here. But they also fly bigger jets out of here, 738s, A320s. So I'd like to do some of that. Maybe take an A320 out of here or in there. It's because it's a beautiful airport. I was doing some reading about it. They put a new terminal in 2015, I think. And supposedly it's like the 4th busiest airport in New Zealand. I almost don't see the runway. I know it's next to that crane right there. It's just hard to see. There's so much going on right now with roads and buildings. Oh, I see it. I got it. Kind of blended into the scenery. So again, I don't have a lot of practice with this plane, so I'll give you my best, but you know, it may not be pretty. Alright, easing back to the tail. Made it down. Didn't hurt the aircraft, it looks like. We just gotta find a taxiway. I mean, I haven't even scratched the surface of the simulator yet. There's so much more to do and check out storms and so much. Just flying around my hometown, though, that was the first thing I did. I think that's what the first thing a lot of people are going to do. And that was so incredible to see. Because like I was saying, it's never been done before. It's never been done. And you'd have to pay for it. And it would still be, you know, kind of close, but not really there. Until, like I said, when True Earth came out for X-Plane 11, then, finally, it represented the city well. And I do think that scenery looks really good. You know, but this is just, it comes with the simulator. It's default. And you know, that was always the argument with a lot of people is, why aren't these things already a part of the sim? Why isn't there already a good weather engine? Why isn't there already good scenery? Why do we have to pay for all these things? And I recognize we need developers, and I love that developers get to make money through this and create aircraft and stuff like that. But I do think some things should be built into the sim. Just happy what Microsoft's been able to do with the tools at their disposal. So we'll go park back where we were and call it a day. So excited for this, so excited to continue working with this simulator, and you know, I'm not gonna quit, you know, using my other sims completely. I'll still use them for the time being, you know, for my, you know, 738 experience, my A320 and stuff like that. I'll probably still use those for now. You know, I'm always someone who uses all the sims anyway, and you know that this isn't gonna stop it. But this is, you know, I'll probably be on this the most and exploring everything. So now we're parked. We'll go ahead and shut this engine down and get on out of here. So once again, everybody, thank you for checking out this video. Please subscribe to the channel. Lots of great flight sim content will be on this channel, especially now. So make sure you are here. You don't want to miss it. So, all right, everybody, thank you again. You take care. I'll see you next time.